And today I'm going to present my presentation on characterizing the software process, a maturity framework by Watts as Humphrey. This is the outline of my presentation. I will walk you through the introductions, then development process improvement, then I will explain the 5 levels of the maturity framework, then the limitations and the area of improvements. So during the 1980s, the amount of the money spent on the software in US grows approximately 12% each year, and the area the software function grows even faster. So in recognition to need to improve the development of the military software, the Defense Department in US has launched several initiatives, including the maintainability testing. They also launched the Joint Program and STAR program as well. So Defense Department formed also a software engineering institute at Carnegie Mellon University in 1984 to establish standard for excellence for software engineering. So one of the software engineering institute project is to provide Defense Department with some way to characterize the capabilities of the software development organization. And that result was the software process maturity framework. So author represent the 5 necessary steps for the development of the software process improvement. First is to understand the current status of your development process. Second, you should have at least the vision of the desired process. Third is to establish a list of required process improvement action in order of the priority. Fourth, produce a plan to accomplish those actions. And fifth, commit the resources to execute the plan. So maturity framework covers all these 5 necessary steps. So by organizing software process into this structure, software professional and management can identify those areas where improvement actions are most likely to produce the result. So here are the 5 levels of the maturity framework. First is initial, second is repeatable, third is define, fourth is manage, fifth is optimizing. I will give you more introductions into the next upcoming slides. So the first level of improving software process maturity framework is the initial process. It is also called ad hoc process as well. And it is also even chaotic. Here, typically organizations operate without formalized procedure, cost estimate, and project plans. Tools are neither well integrated with the process nor uniformly applied. Change control is lax and there is little senior management exposure to the product. So while organization at this level may have formal procedure for the project control, but there is no management mechanism to ensure they are used. So organization at the initial level can improve their performance by instituting basic project control, which are listed here. First is project management, second is management oversight, then quality assurance and the change control. Let's talk about the project management. The fundamental role of the project management system is to ensure the effective control of the commitments. This requires adequate preparation, clear responsibility, and public declaration. The second one is the management oversight. A disciplined software development organization must have senior management oversight, and this includes reviews and approval of all major development plans before official commitment made. Third one is the quality assurance. A quality assurance group is charged with the assuring the management that the software development work is actually done the way it's supposed to be done. The fourth is the change control. So there are also occasionally requirement changes which require to improve the process, and historical evidence demonstrate that many of them can be deferred and face it later. And if all changes are not controlled and ordinary design, the implementation and testing is impossible and no quality plan can be effective. So there should be also a room for that as well. The next one is repeatable process. The repeatable process has one important strength over the initial process. It provides the commitment control. So organization in this level has tendency like they believe that they have mastered the software problem, but they do not realize that their strength came from the prior experience of the similar work. So organization at the repeatable process thus face major risk when they present with the new challenges. And without defined process framework in which they address these issues, it is even possible for new technology to do more harm than good. For example, for a software group that excels in developing the compiler will likely have a design, scheduling, and estimating problems if they are assigned to write another control program. So to mitigate all these risks, they come up with all these three possibilities. One is to establish a process group. A process group is a technical group that focuses exclusively on improving the software development process. However, for the small organization, they have a lack financial support. They can take a help from the contractor or hiring a consultant. Um, Second is to establish a software development process architecture that describe the technical and management activities required for proper execution of the development process. And if that architecture is not in the place, then introduce a family of the software engineering methods and technologies. Third step is the define process. Define process focuses on the measurement on the specific task. The process architecture is the essential prerequisite to effective measurement that I already talked in the previous slide. The key step for define process is to establish a minimum basic set of process measurement to identify the quality and cost parameter of each process steps. Second, to establish a process database with resources to manage and maintain it. Third, we require skilled professionals to monitor all the quality data before we enter into the database, and it also provides the guidance when needed. Four, it assesses the quality of each product and inform the management where the quality targets are not being met. The next one is managed process. The greatest potential problem with managed process is the cost of gathering data. So there are number of potentially valuable measures of software development and support, but such data is expensive to collect and maintain. To go further to the fifth level of the maturity framework, there are two fundamental requirements. First, it needs support automatic gathering of process data. Some data cannot be gathered by the hand because it leads to the errors. Second, use data to both analyze and modify the process to prevent problems and improve the efficiency. The last stage of the process maturity framework is the optimizing process. So up to this point, software development manager have largely focused on their products and will typically only gather and analyze data that directly relate to the product improvement. In the optimizing process, the data is available to actually tune the process itself. With the little experience, management will soon see the process optimization can produce major quality and productivity improvements. So, for the most project, a little analysis shows that there are two distinct activities involved in the optimizing process. One is the removal of the bugs, and second, in the optimizing process, the organization has the means to identify weakest element of the process and it needs to fix it. Here is the list of all the advantages of the optimizing process. It helps manager understand where the help is needed and how best to provide the people with support they require. It let professionals communicate in concise and quantitative terms. This facilitates the knowledge transfer and minimize likelihood of their wasting time on the problems that have already been solved. It provides framework for professionals to understand their work performance and to see how to improve it. This results in highly professional environment and sustainable productivity benefits, and it avoids enormous amount of the effort that is generally expended in the fixing and patching others people's mistake. While maturity framework has many advantages, there are some limitations too. First, it is time consuming and expensive implementation. So particularly for the small organization with limited resources, it requires significant commitment of time, effort, and resources to assess the organization maturity level and develop plan for their improvement. Second, it focuses only on the process improvement. So as title suggests, it only focuses on the process improvement rather than the result or outcome of those processes. Third, it may not be suitable for our organization. So this maturity framework was initially developed for the software industries, but for the other industry, they need to modify or develop for their own specifications or requirement. Fourth, it has a limited scope. Um, so it may not address the other critical areas such as marketing, sales, and customer support. The fifth one, it may not keep up to date with the changing technologies. So there are many emerging technologies like AI and machine learning that may have several benefits if they integrate with this model. So these are all areas of improvements that are identified for the maturity framework. First is the expansion of the scope, which means this model should cover the areas like marketing, sales, and customer support to provide more comprehensive evaluation of organization overall capabilities. Second is to integrate with emerging technologies, which means like this model should get integrated with current technologies like AI, machine learning, and blockchain to provide more accurate assessment and recommendation for the improvement. Third is focus on the outcome. It should not just focus on the process improvement, but rather it should also focus on the outcome as well to better capture the impact of the organization development effort on its overall success. The fourth one is the simplification of the implementation. Like it should more accessible and feasible for the smaller organization with the limited resources. First is the fifth one is the customization for different industries. So I think this model should customize for the different industry to meet their specific needs and requirement and ensuring that it remains relevant and applicable across various sectors. The last one is the continuous improvement, like it encouraging organization to continuously evaluate and improve their process to stay competitive and relevant in the ever-changing business landscape.